Working there in Copeland too, and they've been coordinating. I think across the continent. I think Garrett Copeland was in California at the time, and I don't know get the details of it, but they were corresponding and whatnot. And she was working on the piece and filling him in about the progress that she was making, and that he was composing the music. And he asked her at one point, he said, and then quite a number of events happened coincidentally that just confirmed my interest. And I've been working. And really? Oh wow. Wow. Pardon? I don't. I haven't seen the
In the summer of 2013, self-published author Garrett Buhl Robinson spent some time talking with me about his semi-autobiographical novel, Nunatak, in New York City.
In Brooklyn instead, that was on in the snow and I went there instead because I've met one dancer at a performance at Detroit, and I was at the record. I want to see that. But I did have a chance to speak with after, because they wanted to be a free performance in Central Park. And about a month ago or July or something, I forget exactly when. Nunatak takes you to a small fictional fishing village in Alaska called Nunatak. And a young man goes up to work in a salmon cannery for the summer. As the story transpires, he assembles a motley cast of characters around him. They interact dynamically, and they're illustrating human relationships in a number of different ways. The characters in Nunatak are really a composite of a number of people that I've interacted with, both working in Alaska and elsewhere. And I felt like I was developing characters that personified particular outlooks in life or particular perspectives. And of course, one really important, or two very important characters are of course the couple, Ross and Lynn, because they constantly remind Evan of his relationship and his engagement with Constance. Given the process of developing Nunatak was a long gestation period, and I mulled over the thoughts and the events for quite a number of years. There were some sections of the book that I did write very early on, almost directly after my experiences in 2001 and 2002. And it basically involved the ferry ride going up to Alaska, and in some versions also the ferry ride returning too. But I didn't write very much of my actual experiences there, with the exception, of course, of my journal entries while I was actually working and living in Alaska. And then through the years, as I mulled over it, and also just mulled over it in my journals too, those experiences, the reflection of those experiences, eventually in 2011, I sat down and I was able to work through the entire story in a draft, and very quickly. And I did it in about a week. And then after that, I went through numerous revisions, at least 4 or 5 full-length revisions, and before I was able to polish the final project. There was no particular influences for me while I was writing Nunatak. It was basically just trying to depict the reality that I experienced in the most accurate way possible, and then to be able to bring the meaning out of that, and how it addresses the human condition in general. And that was really what I was focusing upon the entire time. And of course, Nunatak itself is an Inuit word. It is a rock. A Nunatak is a geological feature that the Inuits use as a point of reference by which they navigate through their lives. And in addition to using Nunatak as a name of the town, the fishing village, where most of the story takes place, I hope that as the story unfolds, that people find that the Nunataks actually come to refer to our relationships with one another. Because as social beings, our relationships serve as a points of reference by which we navigate through our lives, just like the Inuits use the Nunataks. Waiting for the cafeteria to open for lunch, I find myself wandering around the boat. The cold, damp wind buffets against me, and I run across a little nook where I'm tempted to stoop inside for shelter. I see someone has already found the space, but there's plenty of room for two, and I think it might be nice to have some company, even if we let the howling wind do all the talking.